Okay, can everyone see Rich? I'll see what people say in chat.
Can you see?
Yay! Okay, let's give a warm welcome to Rich Werner, the original artist for Plants vs Zombies. He came up with all
Oh,
of the character styles that you see now that have like
the stuff.
uh, lots of people saying hi. I don't know if you can see the chat, Rich, if you have it open on another window.
Let me try to do that. Sorry, I suck at these. Hold on. It should be there, right? It should be on the other. I think I have two panels open.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
usually what we do is like they'll open up the chat and then have it as a separate window so they can like follow along if they want.
I,
Yeah,
how do I
everyone's
see the
going
chat?
crazy. They're like, Rich, Rich, hi, Rich. Thanks for
How do
making
I?
the cactus. Rich.
No. Hold on. I only see from you. Where is it at?
Oh, you can't see the. Oh. Do you know how to get to the chat?
No.
Okay, that's. You can always look at the VOD later.
Oh man. Whatever.
Yeah, so it actually, okay, here's what you could do. If you go to twitch.tv and then the slash thingy and then supershigi.
Oh, there. Okay. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, yeah,
Hold on. Hold on a
yeah.
second.
Okay, chat, we gotta hold our, once
I'm
he
not
can
that
read it,
lame.
we'll all say nice
I'm not
things
that lame.
again.
Hold on. Oh, hey, I think. Okay, hold on. My
And
other
then what you can
screen.
do is if you wanna like put the Discord window like over the thing so you're not watching double, and then
Oh,
you can just, yeah. And then you could just
oh,
have
there it
chat on the
is.
side.
Oh yeah, here it is. Oh yeah, I
Okay,
see
can see it now? Okay, he can read your messages now, chat.
it. So stupid.
So one more time, let's give a warm welcome to
Oh wait,
Rich.
hold on. Well,
What do you know?
my old man glasses. Huh? I can feel like my dad. I'm like,
Oh my gosh. Oh, dude, Kirby Master says, I really wanted to ask Rich something. What was it like working on the best video game of all time, Shrek Super Slam?
man, so good. Actually,
I'm sorry.
that's so stupid. Um, you know what's funny is like I have plaques and stuff on my wall of the games I've worked on, except that one. Come on.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
man, that was a pain in the ass. Yeah, that's what happens when you work for a studio that just only does licensed
Yeah.
products, like quick turnaround games. It was so bad.
Oh my gosh. I've never played it before. I saw the title and I was just like, yes, we have
It's
to.
so stupid because it's like a fighting game is cool if you have like a nice console, but like when you're doing it on like a
Oh,
what was
it's
it?
handheld?
Yeah, it was Game Boy, the DS, I think maybe.
Oh,
And
what?
so it's like all just small and crappy and like whatever.
Oh,
I did backgrounds on that, but yeah,
dude.
so dumb.
Yeah. Do you want to introduce yourself and talk about what you've
Hi.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, you kind of summed it up and you're in the thing there. I mean, I've worked on all kinds of dumb games. You may not know this, but I worked on Lemony Snicket,
Oh.
Unfortunate Events, the
What?
game. Such a big hit. That was a hit. Um, remember that cartoon Robots?
Yeah, yeah.
I made that game.
Are you looking at your bio?
I'm looking up on the wall at the pictures. I'm like, which ones do I have? Oh yeah, that's still up there. Sorry. I'm like, there's that one, that one. Oh yeah, and Harry Potter.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh
Sorry, I
man.
had to look over there because I'm like, wait, what did I work on again?
I actually totally understand. Like I have something where people can say exclamation point Shiggy in chat that'll list games I've worked on because I legit will forget. Because I think when you do contract stuff, you work on a lot of different
Especially.
projects. Yeah, so
No, it's totally true. I mean, that's how he knows. I'm like, no, I turned this way. I'm like, okay, those games over there. I was like on the shelf, like the board games and stuff. Yeah, it's
Uh,
ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Your dog is so cute.
I'll
What's
share my dog with everybody. My dogs.
Oh,
This is what he likes the most, like this.
oh, he's like a baby. Oh my gosh.
This is what he likes to sit like all the time.
What a
Oh,
sweet
poor
dog.
guy.
Oh my gosh.
I know, and you guys get to look at his empty eye hole.
Oh. Yeah, Rich was telling me that he had like an infection or something, like a really bad
Yeah,
infection.
he doesn't make he stopped making tears. He has like a condition.
Oh no. Oh
Yeah, so
my
his
gosh.
eyes get susceptible to infections. So he got one that
Mm.
was really bad and we couldn't fix it.
Oh
But he
man.
has drops for the other one to try to force tears and stuff. But this is what he does all day. He
Oh,
just likes to lick
he's so
me and like
sweet. He's
sit
like
with
a
me.
cat.
He is like a cat. That's what he does.
Oh my goodness.
He's like gonna fall asleep licking. Oh. He just loves to lay next to me on this chair.
For some reason, Rich always has these like really, really nice dogs. Like, but then they always end up getting kind of like geriatric and falling
Yep.
apart. And then they go through so much to take care of them. Like, yeah.
Yeah, thousands of dollars already on this guy. Yay!
Oh no.
He's only 8. He's not even that old.
Oh, oh my
You're not even old, dude.
gosh. We have a
Yeah, I don't
cat that
know.
just comes by. I was telling Chad about it. Like, we call her part-time cat, and she started following us on walks and realized when we go on walks, then we'll go wait outside the door. And then she decided to start coming in the house, and now she
Oh
just
my
thinks it's
gosh.
like her place. And yeah, so she's in a couple of the the
Oh
streams
man,
because she just comes up.
do you have any other animals or is it just that cat?
Only koi fish right now.
Oh, fish. Oh, my sister has koi fish. Those are expensive, man.
We get them real small and then feed them a lot and have to protect
Yeah.
them from like raccoons and herons.
Oh
So
yeah, my
yeah,
sister's the same way. She has a giant pond in her backyard and they'll go missing. She's like,
yeah.
no.
I used to love blue herons, but they like eat the fish. And this one really brazen one comes by and is just like, stalking them. And then I'm like, you get away from
Yeah,
my pets. You run out and have to scare them away.
it sucks. I asked my sister if herons taste good because I'm like, just kill it.
What
What?
the heck? If they taste good.
Well, because she lives out in the woods, so no one would know if she killed it. Because aren't they like endangered?
That's what we've
I,
talked about on stream so far. Shrek, Super Slave, and hunting herons. Uh, oh
just
my
saying.
gosh! Just
What a-
if we needed to, if it came down to it. Oh my gosh.
that makes zero sense.
So I wanted to ask you like how you became an artist because if I remember correctly, you had like a lot of really random jobs at first. So it was a
Oh,
long path. And I think this is
yeah.
inspiring because I talk to a lot of folks that are like, "Oh, I didn't get an art degree or I didn't do this right out of school." And I'm like, "No, dude, Rich, his first job.
Oh
Correct me if
yeah,
I'm wrong.
check
It
this out.
was yeah."
I've had lots of jobs. So many jobs. Okay, I've been trying to think of all of them.
I know the
But I worked at
first
a pro.
one,
Which one do you remember?
propane yard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That was the last straw one. That was the one where I was like, I need a hard job or I'm gonna kill myself. It was like I worked outdoors in a propane yard, and it happened to be at the height of that stupid show, King of the Hill. So everybody used to make fun of me. It was like the worst ever. But yeah, so that job was the one that was like, come on, man, I gotta stop. But yeah, I did that. I worked at two different hardware stores. I worked at a pet store. I worked at a hair salon. I worked as a receptionist
You were a receptionist at a hair salon?
at Supercut.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, you're like really
Yep.
good with people, so I could imagine that.
I guess, but I worked and at fast food. I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Jack in the Box. I worked at Shakey's Pizza. I worked at I worked at Jack in the Box only one day because
What
I just
happened?
couldn't handle it. It was a graveyard shift,
Oh, gee.
and everybody there was so lame. I was like, I just can't take it. I had to leave. That one was pretty bad. But yeah, I was a dishwasher at a
Hmm.
couple of different restaurants. Oh man, I think when I counted them all up, Some of them I can't remember. It's been so long. But I think if I count them all up, I had something like 26 jobs by the time I was like 22.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
And sometimes I had a couple. Like at one point, I had 3 jobs. I worked at Shakey's Pizza and also the receptionist job at the hair salon. And that same week is when I started working at Jack in the Box for one night. But I had 3 jobs, and I was
Oh
going to art
man.
school at the same time.
What the heck? Okay, that's
Yeah,
some grit. That's
it
like
was rough, but it didn't work out because art school ended up falling off because I couldn't focus on anything. So it took me a long time to get through art school. But I think being once I worked at the propane yard and I smelled like that gross propane smell like all the time every day, and I had burns all over me because
oh
that stuff is
no.
like so cold.
It's really
It's
like
like
caustic.
it's so cold that it burns, right? Like it, you know.
Uh-huh.
And so like every time I'd fill a tank up, if any of it would get on your skin, I'd get blisters. Like I'd
Oh
have blisters all over
no.
my hands or
That's
burns on my
awful.
arms. And it's also very flammable. And so like I'd
Mhm.
be like working with these giant tanks and forklifts and stuff like that, and they're full of
Mhm.
propane. One time I knocked a whole bunch of them over and I
Oh,
thought we were gonna all die.
oh my gosh, that's terrible.
I was I was stacking 1,000-gallon propane tanks on top of each other with
And
these
you were
like
like
wood
a kid at
slats.
the time, right? Like this was like when you were
Yeah,
a
yeah.
teenager.
Well, I was like
Gee.
21 or something like that.
Okay.
But I was
Oh
stacking them, and the
my
wood they gave us was rotten, and we didn't know it. And so when I stacked them, all the wood broke, and all of the containers fell on each other, and they
gosh.
rolled out into a stream
Oh
that
my
was next to the propane
gosh.
yard. And they all had propane in them. Like if one of them would have blew up, we would have probably just been dead. But
Dude, that's terrible. Oh my
yeah, it was
gosh.
super scary. So that's when I decided I need to like focus.
Yeah.
So I
You're like, this is too many jobs. I can't do
and
Jack in the
Hallie
Box
was like,
and
"What are
propane.
you doing?"
Thank God this didn't explode. Like,
I know,
gosh.
so stupid.
Uh
I know I had one class left. All I had was my portfolio class was the only class I had to have done to finish school.
huh.
And I just kept holding off and not doing it, not doing it. And
Mhm.
finally my wife was like, "Will you please just go back to school and finish?" So I started taking night classes, and then literally after I finished that class, I got my first job within 4 weeks
Oh.
of graduating. So
Mhm.
then I was able to quit the propane place. Um,
That must have
and
been a
that's how I
happy
started working on
day.
Game Boy games. Yeah,
From Propane
Game Boy
Man
Color.
to Game Boy Color.
And here's the kicker about that too is when I first started making games, I didn't even own a computer.
Mhm.
So I didn't even know what folders were. I didn't know any of that. And so like they hired me. And so then I'm there and I'm like, what is this? And all the programmers would get so mad at me.
Oh no.
I'm like, where do I put this? They're like, in the folder. I'm like, what's the folder? Like, are you serious? And then they come over, they type it on my keyboard and like set it up. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Could you type at the time or were you one of those like one finger typers?
I still am.
Like these are
Except
propane hands.
I have like Tyrannosaurus typing. I go
What?
like with these two,
Wait.
I go
Seriously?
that's how that's how I type, with just these two.
We're learning all sorts of things about you today. You type like this.
Small.
Oh, oh my gosh.
It's true. I suck. I can't type.
But one thing you
Uh
can do really, really well is
I
draw.
can draw pictures. Okay. I
And you
took
can
all
like
my
learn stuff. Like you didn't you learn Flash for PvZ?
yeah, while we were making it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I learned Flash. I learned Photoshop by making cards for a card game.
Hmm.
I didn't know how to use it then either. I didn't know how to do that. Yeah, everything I've learned ever has always been on the fly. I've never taken a class for
Hmm.
any of the programs ever. It's always just been learn as you go kind of thing.
Yeah.
But,
And I think that's important for people to hear too, because I think a lot of folks think like if they don't get a degree in it, that they can't do it. And it's like, no, there's like so many resources out there. And if you're really passionate about it, then you
mhm.
can, you can pick it up.
Oh, especially now. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
back then it was even hard, a lot harder. Now it's easy because I'm saying easy, but I mean you can get trials for almost any program you can think of. You can go
Hmm.
on YouTube and look at a tutorial on how to work something out. There's so many ways to figure out how to use tools. Like tools,
Yeah.
so like to me, tools are just like it's just like it's like a pencil or a pen. That doesn't that's not what makes you good at art or good at what you're doing. It's just a tool that you're using, right? Like you just
Hmm.
have to practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Do you have your
know?
geriatric Yoshi and Mario things, like pictures?
Oh man. Oh no, they're at an arcade in Wilton.
Oh, okay, cool, cool.
Oh, but I do have. Well, I could share my screen real quick. Well, while we're talking, I'll look something up because I'm I'm doing a series of paintings right now. I don't know if I told you this. They're called gross ups.
Uh, is that like
So I
glow up
have,
but gross up?
well, kinda. So it's like I take duos, cartoon duos. So like, for instance, I did Ren and Stimpy. I have Mickey and Donald.
Mhm.
I've done He-Man and Skeletor. SpongeBob and Patrick. And basically, it's like I do them together painting, but I make it like as if, remember, like in the old Ren and Stimpy days of super close up, really gross looking stuff.
Yeah,
They all look
yeah.
just hideous, and it's just been like this new thing I've been working on.
That's like so on brand. Like that's just you
I
like
know,
to make things gross. You're
I know,
like,
I can't
Yoshi's
help it,
cute. Maybe I'll make him like 80 years old and falling apart.
dude.
Like
I did have a Yoshi one for a while. I never finished that one, but I did have one.
you did them on
I had
pizza
Yoshi.
boxes, right?
Yeah, those
Yeah.
were on pizza boxes for this arcade
Dude, we
thing.
have another comment. Wait, you
Uh
did
oh.
Shrek Super Slam on the GBA?
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, Sir Shabby. I should take
It's
a real
true.
question, actually. Okay. Marcy
For real.
Raven says, I'm sorry. How did you come up with the perfect balance of cute and cartoony and eerie and disturbing and semi-realism through the art style and character
Oh,
designs?
oh, I see that one. Oh, that's like, sorry. Gotta get up. Asthma for me. Um, Honestly, I think it's because like, well, I used to really, I mean, I really liked gross stuff when I was a kid, right? But like, you can only take it so far to reach people, like to reach everyone. Like, it's really niche. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to get super gross out, then like, you're only going to reach so many people anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And I also really liked Disney cartoons and things like that. Like, I like the kids, like little kids stuff too. So I don't know. I kind of felt like, I don't know. I just always kind of try to find like a balance between the two. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I wanted stuff to be kind of gross, but in a funny way, not like in an actual like make you sick, disgusting way. Like I try to look for the funny part of it
Mm-hmm.
and add that in there. That's kind of like my style anyway. But then yeah, so I just kind of use that, and I tried to use that towards PvZ, but then it got even more cartoony with that one because George kind of reeled me back a little bit because they're, like the first couple designs of the zombies were like super disgusting looking, kind of in
Yeah,
comparison.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm just like, ooh, those are kind of gnarly. Or like, what was it? The bungee zombie was like bunging with his own guts at one point. Like, yeah, I
Oh,
don't know if you
dude,
remember
that's
that.
right. Yeah.
And George's like, maybe not do that part.
I just
So it happens.
I just remember like that Dave, like real life crazy Dave, would like always come over and take stuff off people's desks and be like, "Oh, do you want this?" Or he would pick up other people's cans of soda and just drink them. And he
That's
always drank
right.
out the side of his mouth and stuff like that. And then he
I
hated
remember
that.
that.
I don't know why he would drink the sideways. But like
I know it's all.
he hated the bungee zombies so much and would kind of complain about it and be like, maybe you should take those guys out. And wasn't that like the reason that in the ending credits the bungee
That's why
zombies
he's hanging
finally
upside
yeah.
down. Yeah, that is why. And we also had, I don't know if, I don't know, did you might not have been in the office when we did this, but when we were making the music video and I was there doing the art for it that week,
Mhm.
um, I did a special sequence at Jordan. We had to take it out because we were laughing too hard. It was like too hardcore. But it was like at the very end, when the Sunflower winks, like it closes up or whatever,
Mhm. No, I
like the
was
screen
there. I know
closes.
what you're gonna
Oh,
say.
you were there?
Yeah.
And it opened back up, and Crazy Day was under the desk. It said, "I eat food off the floor," and that was because George caught him eating something off the floor one
Yeah,
time.
he would like eat like chips or something off the floor.
Yeah, like he didn't care if it fell down.
I
But the
remember
picture I had was so funny.
you drew him like from the butt, right? And he was like,
Yeah, yeah. And he was looking back at you, his butt towards the camera. He's all, he had like a piece of
we
food.
were like cry laughing. That was so Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was pretty good stuff.
It's too bad that didn't make it in, but it's
Oh my god, that'd have been
understandable why.
hilarious. Yeah, no kidding. Oh my gosh, I wonder if he would have got upset about it or not. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I think
don't know.
he kind of took it in stride. I think he kind of liked it.
I think he
Because did he
did.
used to dress
Yeah.
like him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuz Todd had a Halloween party once. Well, you weren't at that party,
Oh, I
right?
wasn't there. Oh, that's right though. He did show up because they sent me pictures and
Mm. He
he
came
was
dressed as
Crazy
Crazy
Dave,
Dave with the
and
pot on
I
his
think
head.
wasn't George a lawnmower? Did he? Was he the lawnmower?
I think he
I think so.
was.
The blade was like on his
Yeah.
so dumb.
Oh my gosh. They did
Dude,
some good decorations though. They were really
yeah, oh I
crafty, Lindsay
know. Yeah,
too.
they're cool. Yeah, Lindsay's rad. They're rad people, man. Yeah, it's been so
Uh,
long since I've talked to Todd. That's why I'm so stoked to see him. Like, see him coming east
yeah.
to hang out. So.
I have so many funny Ted or Todd story memories. Like just the way he would talk to businessmen and all that. Like it was just so funny. Oh my gosh.
And he had his opinion too. Like you couldn't. That it was his opinion. His opinion. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you can't change his
You
mind. You
can't.
couldn't make him do anything. Here, watch this. Here, I'm what if this will work? Let's see.
Okay.
Here, I found this. How do I go live? What does that mean? If I say screen share and I say go live, will that mean it'll show up?
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I'm
Let's see.
assuming if it okay. I'm assuming if it
Is it
works,
there? Can you
your
see it?
whole I can't see it. I think it's just your face still.
Oh, how do I make this?
Or not your face, but you.
Ew. Oh, it's there, but you can't see it. Oh wait, can you see it now? No.
Mm-mm.
Ah, boo. Whatever. Whatever.
Was
Oh
it one
well.
of the gross up pictures?
Yeah. Oh, I know how to share it. Well, no, I can't share it. Chat doesn't take pictures, does it?
I don't think so.
I don't think
Uh,
you can post it there.
if you
What do you
have
even
like
can?
a link.
Wait, hold on. I'm gonna try something. This is just for fun. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Okay.
Okay, clipboard. Nope.
Ultra
Ah,
Zero, I
boo.
know who you're talking about. Yeah. Um okay, so Ultra Zero says, out of curiosity, Rich, considering you did character design for Peggle 2, did you ever meet the guy who announced said game with excitement from E3 2013? You know,
No way.
you know what I'm talking about.
John Beachy.
John freaking Beachy, dude.
He was all Peggle
That was
2. He jumped up and down.
it's so weird how that became like such a meme.
And it was like so anticlimactic too. Like when he did it, everybody's like, "What's he doing?" Yeah,
Oh
John
my
Beachy was a
gosh.
character, that's for sure,
Yeah, yeah.
dude. I have a story. I have a story about him. Like it's like I can share it there. I did. We did like one time. A bunch of us from PopCap went and did like some charity work where we're like helping build like we're basically just digging ditches, but it was like for this community for people like low income housing and stuff.
Mhm.
And we went there all day long, and everybody was like so tired. And he was like, "Let's all go out, and I'll buy everybody food and drinks." So we went back to Two Bells, which is the bar that was across the street from PopCap.
Mhm.
And he decided to take one of our other friends, Matt
Matt.
Holmberg,
Okay, yeah.
and one other guy, and they did this thing called what was it called? Something roulette. It's sort of like playing Russian roulette, but like with vodka.
Oh
So what
gosh.
they would do is they would take 6 shots,
What the?
and only one of them had vodka in it, and the other ones have water.
Uh-huh.
And so you and another person, you just take random drinks, and you try to, if you have the shot, you're trying to not let them know you have it. Except what John Vici did was he put vodka in every single one. So every time they tried, they're both all and like you thought they were trying to psych each other out, and you're like, man, they're really playing this up good. And at the end, they're all, were all of yours vodka? And he's like, yeah. He said mine too. And Vinci's in the corner going, ah.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, what the heck?
he would do crazy stuff like that, man. Just try to get people wrecked.
Oh my gosh.
So funny,
And like,
man.
jokes on him because Matt can drink like 12 vodkas and not even be phased.
I know. He's like, just give me the bottle.
Uh, I
No,
still
yeah,
remember we went to Two Bells and like he had knew everyone there, and when they brought him his drink, one of the waitresses patted him on the back and was like, "Good boy" or something like that, or like "attaboy," as if he was drinking his milk or something.
oh my God, yeah.
Drink
He had
up.
his own stool. Like if he came in, he had the corner stool, and people would get up and let him sit down.
Oh my gosh.
Like it was his, that was his spot.
So for chat, you folks know
He's a good
Matt.
guy.
He did a lot of the environment art in Rockwind. So like Morisoto's Forest and the Dragon Boat and like the bears. That's his art. So for context.
Yeah, yeah. No, he's a great guy. It's funny because that he worked on games with you and with me, and him and I. The first job I ever had was because of him, because we worked together on our very first game together. So like we we've been working together for the whole time, 24 years off and on. So
You guys,
yeah, I've known him for a
yeah.
really long time. Yeah, he's a really good family friend actually.
Hmm.
What do you want it down? Sorry, I gotta let my dog watch out hurting each other.
Oh, sure. I'll talk with
He's
chat. Uh, well, yeah, it's good to see everybody. Hi, Chi Marie. Getting ready for work, but just want to stop by and say thank you for coming by. Um, Whoa, I have the scrugs today because I've been laughing a lot, I think.
Uh, he's since calmed way down though. Now he doesn't drink anymore.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he
He
doesn't
does
really drink
at
anymore.
all?
Not really.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Well, good for
Nah,
him.
yeah, good for him. He's working on. Oh, this is I don't. People out there probably don't even care about this at all, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. But the first game I ever worked on was a game called Magi Nation, right? That's what it was called. It was a
Mm.
card game and a video game, and they're all based off of Matt's artwork. And this is back in the year 2000. And recently, this last year, some people were able to buy the rights to release a set that we were working on in 2002, like
Oh,
way
for
long ago.
real?
And
Wow.
then they started filling it out with new artwork.
Uh-huh.
And now they hired Matt as their art director. So
Wow.
he started with something from when he was like 18 years old,
Uh-huh.
and now later in life he's back working on that same thing and in control of it,
Dude, that's
which
so
is like super
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So he's
'cause
like
yeah.
he's like totally in control of it right now.
Mhm. He always like I
Mm.
felt like he always had to take a back seat to everybody else, even though he's like super talented and has a really good game design sense
I
and
know.
so that's great to hear. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's totally awesome. I'm really happy for him.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
How
he's been
long have
working
you
on
guys
off and
known
on
each
stuff,
other?
but since then, since 2000,
Mm-mm.
when I met him, he was the one that looked. It's so weird because he was like 18 or 19, and I was like 21. And he's looking at my portfolio, and he was the one that said to hire me. It was so weird.
He was like a beta
Uh,
tester for for Chrono Trigger too, I remember. For
yeah,
like
yeah.
the English version or something.
I think so. Yeah, I think he did some stuff for Nintendo uh,
I
really early on. Like he was doing a lot of that kind of stuff back like when he was younger, when he was
mhm.
really little.
I
But
remember we geeked out over that because he said something about like how his mom like got him the job because I forgot. I could be totally mixing this up, but did she work for Nintendo or do some kind of like
mm, I don't know. Actually, I actually don't know. I can't remember what his mom did for a
Mhm.
living.
Yeah, but I was just like,
Um,
what? You got to beta test the English version? Like, that's so crazy. It was like,
right?
'cause
It's
that's
so
my favorite
cool.
game.
Is it? Oh yeah, that game's dope though. I
Mm,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, no, it's way good. I don't think I ever played it. I've watched people play it, and I've seen a lot of the artwork and stuff. I don't think I've played it
You
myself
should play it
ever.
with Matt. I bet he would like every step of the way be like so
Oh,
hype
dude,
about
yeah,
it.
he would freak
Be like,
out.
dude, this is the part where you gotta fight Magus and you
Yeah.
gotta do this and oh man, I'm gonna cry. Like, yeah, really
Oh, I
emotional.
know he probably would. He'd get all emotional about it.
I think the last time he texted me actually, he heard like one of the kind of more sad sounding pieces from Chrono Cross, and he was just like, "Man, I was
Mm.
just listening to this and getting all like teared up, and man,
Oh,
it's so good." I was like, "Yeah, it's good."
he's such a softie, man. Like
Uh,
he's a very emotional guy. Like
is it true
he
he
wears
has
his
a
heart on
twin
his sleeve.
brother?
Yeah, but they don't look like twins. Like they don't look. I could tell that they were brothers, but they do not look like twins. His
Mm.
brother's like was like an athlete and stuff like that, and
Oh,
short,
wow.
really short hair, no facial hair, nothing like that. And like
Mm.
you know, kind of a more of a thinner guy. Like last time I saw a picture of him, I was like, "That's your brother?" It's his twin brother. They went. It's like they grew up and they just went down two completely separate paths,
Yeah, yeah, oh my gosh.
like completely separate. It's wild.
Hmm. How did you get into doing like art? I mean, I we know that you worked at a propane yard and McDonald's and everything, but like have you been drawing since you were like a kid or
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay, I don't. You might not even. I don't know if you know this or not. Maybe I don't know. Um, so like, I mean, yeah, obviously, well, not obviously, I guess, but I have been drawing since I was a little kid. Right?
Mm.
Like always, I was always drawing. My goal was that I wanted to work for Disney. I wanted to be a Disney animator. Ever since I was like in like third grade or fourth grade.
Oh.
And yeah, and so I had the books, and I would like look at like the whatever books I could find that had animation in it and stuff like that. I was really into it.
Hmm.
And then when I got out of grade school in a town north of me, because I grew up in California, Southern California, and then this town a little bit north of me called Chula Vista had a performing arts junior high and high school where
Mm.
like they focused on the arts, all the different things, even dance, music, everything, all that stuff. And you had to have a portfolio to go to those schools. And I remember I made a portfolio when I was in grade school and I got accepted for junior high. And so I went there in junior high and then I automatically was able to go to the high school. So
Oh, nice.
so in junior high and high school, I had like 2 hours of art every day, every day.
Well, that's so
Um,
cool.
yeah, I didn't have to take PE classes. I was like able to
Mm.
just be a nerd and draw pictures. Um, and then and then I moved up here, but I was still in high school to move here, and they didn't have that. So that's when it kind of fell off a little bit. But then I applied at the Art Institute out of high school. I got into there,
Hmm.
but yeah. So I mean, I've been drawing forever, like
Oh.
always, always. Honestly, I don't know if there's maybe 1 or 2 days might go by that I don't draw something
Hmm.
just my regular day, just to have something to draw. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'm always working on something. But
Did you draw on
yeah,
your homework ever?
of course I got in
Yeah.
trouble for it all the time.
Me too. I used to really, really like drawing a lot, and then I kind of took a music detour because I like both music and art. But
Oh yeah.
I
Well,
remember
good
in
thing I think because your music is good. But
yeah,
I don't think I've ever seen any of your art.
yeah. I don't show people because it's all hand drawn stuff. Like, because I
Yeah,
didn't do go into the digital thing until much later, out of like
yeah.
necessity. But I remember in middle school. I started drawing on like my math homework and I was kind of friends with the TAs in that class and I did a whole saga like a comic about the TAs and the teacher and it was so stupid. It was really stupid, but I got out of doing like a lot of math problems because I would just draw the comic into the math homework and then every day they would read it to see what would happen next. And
Oh,
so I have this
nice.
like whole folder of like this saga, like a whole quarter of like
Okay, that's pretty dope. I like that. I actually took it to the extreme level where I was what class was it? It was one of my language classes. I think I took French one time. I don't know
Mm.
why I thought that'd be a good idea. But I took French class and I was failing it about halfway through.
Oh
And
no.
so I just brought comic pages into class and I just told the teacher, I'm gonna fail, so I'm just gonna sit in the corner and draw.
What the
And she said, okay. So every day I would just go to class and I would just go in the back of the room in my own desk and just draw comics while everybody else was working.
Oh my gosh.
It was so bad. And then when they would call you up to to like recite stuff,
uh,
I just go up there to sit down. She goes, well, and I'm like, I don't know how to say any of that stuff. It's just like, okay, go back to seat.
I don't know why for some reason I imagine that you were like really well behaved in school,
I
but
mean, I
like
was, other than that, I wasn't a troublemaker or anything like that, but I just didn't care.
I wasn't a troublemaker. I just flunked my class and told the teacher my intentions to do so.
Well, I mean, I'd rather just tell her instead of getting busted for it every day.
That's true. That's true.
So stupid. Yeah, I was really bad. I did not do well in high school. I was really not good for me.
Oh
But
my gosh.
oh my God. And I
Oh.
can't tell my kids that 'cause I'm like, they're all straight A students and stuff. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't tell them how
Oh,
bad I
so
did
they
in
don't even
school.
know.
No, no.
I'll keep it on the DL.
Uh, yeah, just like really.
Uh,
Maddie might know now because she's old enough. Like, I mean, she's 21, right? So
mhm,
she's in college, so I can tell her stuff, but I can't tell anybody else.
mhm. What's your creative process like? Like, do you do anything to kind of get in the zone with art, or
um, well, I don't know. I just get like these. I don't know. I get like these weird urges. Like, I don't
dude, your
always feel
kids
like
could
doing
totally
stuff.
watch this stream and just like hear what you just said.
Oh, that's true. I know. Whatever. If they hear it, it's not that big. Yeah, my secret is saved with hundreds of strangers. Just saw that comment. No, honestly, what I end up doing is lately what I end up doing is I end up coming in my office, right? I'm sitting here right here. My Cintiq is right next to me right here, but I'll sit here and I'll put on YouTube videos and just watch dumb stuff, and then I start feeling like drawing, and then I'll start really while I'm watching them, and I start getting into it. I can't just come in and start drawing sometimes because like I just feel blank, like I'm just
Mm-hmm.
like I have to sit here for a minute, so I have to sit and like think about things before I start.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my process. What about you? You don't just like go on your piano and just go like done.
Yeah, I think most of the time I try to get like hype first, because like usually if I'm in that state, then I can like hear music. So I
Hmm.
have a bunch of stuff I do to try to make that happen, like going on walks in nature and drinking a lot of tea and eating dark chocolate, and sometimes like talking to certain people, like if you have good energy with someone, like I'll have like a good conversation with someone. Um,
Mm.
Sometimes even like maybe watching something that's inspirational. Yeah, and then once I get in that state, this is stupid sounding. I carry my phone around, right? So like if I'm
Yeah.
out and like I'm like, oh, I got it, then I'll kind of try to step aside and like, and hum it into the phone.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. It's like taking notes, right? That's
Yeah.
the same thing as taking notes, I guess.
So my phone
That
has
makes
so
sense.
many like some of them
It's
are
just random tunes of you humming.
yeah, and sometimes you can't really tell from it what it's going to become because I can only hum one melody, But
Yeah.
I try to give myself like clues, and I'll be like, okay, and then the bass is going to be like do 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 do, and then I'll be, and then the percussion is going to be like this, and then I like hope afterwards that I'll be able to decipher it and put it back together again. So
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
that's cool. That's interesting. You know what? Now, like the more I think about it, like lately, I think most of my inspiration. I mean, aside from just sitting here thinking about stuff, but what'll happen is because I now I so for those that might not know, I teach art now at video game school, DigiPen. So like
Mm-hmm.
I teach there, and I teach character design and sequential art, so like comics and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like what'll happen sometimes is like I'll have students that have like really awesome ideas. And then they get me all pumped, because I'm like, dude, that's a good idea. I like that. That's cool. I'm like, ooh, I want to go draw something. So then that'll make me think, like, especially if I'm grading, because I grade from home a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll have all their artwork open. I'll look at it stuff, and I'll look at some of their ideas and some of the drawings. And there might be a certain shapes or certain things that like kind of get me hyped up. I'm like, ooh, that's cool. Like, I'm gonna draw a character down. Like, I want to do something. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's just that,
Mm-hmm.
just looking at other people's work. Um, yeah, I don't know, kind of wild.
Mm-hmm. That's
What was it?
cool.
Oh, there was something I was gonna ask you too. Damn it. Never mind. It was gonna be something dumb.
Can anyone sign up for your class, or do they have to like?
I mean, you can't. We have to be enrolled in that school. That's the thing.
Oh,
It's not online. It's in person.
mm-mm.
So
Yeah. I was
yeah,
gonna say,
it's
like, if you
super
want to take a
expensive.
character
Too.
design class, you should.
I should do them on the side though, because because you being at that school, like the curriculum and everything and syllabus is all yours. So even if you leave the school, you're allowed to take all that material with you.
Oh,
So
oh.
like technically, I mean, I don't know. Technically, I guess I could do like I don't know what are those online classes you could take. What's is it schoolism's a place that maybe you can sign up to do that kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like I always thought about maybe trying to do that sometime because I mean teaching online is I mean I got used to it from the pandemic really, but I almost like doing it online better because I have all my materials here like by the city. When I go to school, it's
Yeah.
hard because all their stuff that they have is like doesn't doesn't work right or it's not the same settings as I have and all that stuff. So sometimes it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's a good idea actually. Thank you. No, I think I'll go try. Maybe I'll do that. Why not? Oh yeah, Skillshare. Skillshare. Oh, I know who that is. Krista Doodle's in here in the chat. She's a friend of mine.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Hi,
from all
Krista.
the Comic Cons,
Hmm.
all our Comic Cons together for years and years now.
So she knows you're the PvZ
She knows
artist.
what's up.
She's not like, sign
Yeah,
this
no,
comic book.
no.
Uh,
Yeah, no. I actually have some of her artwork at my house.
oh, nice, nice.
Yeah,
You know
that's
who
cool.
else was in chat? I think she's still in chat. Do you remember Amy Kibuishi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, she's in
yeah.
chat too. Yeah.
Oh, rad. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, she actually just released her first graphic novel, Remo Chronicles.
Oh, it's out now?
Yeah,
'Cause I
yeah,
was
you should
following
check
that
it
for a
out.
while.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And
Yeah,
she's
it's been a
gonna
long time,
release
right?
the second one. I don't know when, but I know she's like frantically working on inking it right now and doing the colors and
Oh,
stuff like that. So, oh yeah, she's still here.
oh, nice. Yeah, that's sick. Oh, that's so cool. I mean, yeah, I remember. Like, I don't. I think I've seen some stuff that you posted on
Mhm.
Instagram, maybe or something like that. I feel like I know I've seen stuff not too long ago. Yeah, yeah. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I know. I want to. I know. I know. I teach comics and I don't even draw. And you're like, "Hmm, I could
You should
probably
do
do
more
one."
comics. Yeah. Like you
I
should.
know. Like, what's wrong with me? Like, here's how you do it, guys. It's just like this, and then I don't even do it.
Amy says, my elbow hurts. Any tips? Oh, yeah. Do you get elbow problems?
You gotta draw with the shoulder. You gotta whip it around.
I thought you were
Telling
doing some
you,
Mr. Miyagi shit. Like, you can wax on.
you gotta wax on.
Okay, Amy, got it.
See, you're all good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of setup you have, but a lot of students I have, yeah, a lot of students I have that problem because what they end up doing is they end up working on those really small, like a small iPad or
Mhm.
something like that, and so they're really not moving much. It's just like
Mhm.
this repetitive motion that's really tight,
Mhm.
and then they get carpal tunnel and they get like all kinds of like wrist problems and forearm problems and elbow problems.
Oh,
A lot of times it's because you're not moving you're not like moving things around. That's why I mean not don't really do it like that,
Rich taught me
but
to
yeah,
draw.
sure. What is wrong with this
Average potatoes is better be writing these notes with your shoulder.
guy? But it's true. Like the more you can use more of your arm, the better. To be honest, 'cause
That makes sense, yeah.
I don't have any of those problems. Like
Whoa.
I used to get tennis elbow a little bit, like
Mhm.
in the side, but like not as much now. I think I don't know. I try to draw. I try to like, move around more when I draw instead of being so tight. And if you clench your pen really hard too, that'll help make it worse. Like
Mhm.
if you try to be a little loose with it and light, try to be loose and light.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of because I mean I haven't really had any issues, and I have so many friends that have had surgeries and stuff because of it. So
That sucks. That's like, do you
yeah,
remember
and young
Emmy?
people.
Mhm.
Emmy, that sounds very familiar.
She's the rock one. She did all the artwork for rock
Oh
one that
yeah,
Matt
yeah, I
didn't
know
do.
Emmy. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like she had cubital tunnel, and she was telling me about it because I had never heard of that before, and she was like giving everyone like a PSA, like don't sit on your elbows and don't work too long because I guess it's like the nerve that goes back here and then kind of
Hmm.
under, and it's like the funny bone one, so it feels
Oh
like you
yeah.
bump your
Ooh.
funny bone. And she said hers got so bad that like her hand started doing this claw thing, like these.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so she had to have some kind of surgery, and she says it made it like 80% better. And her friend got like the more intense one where they kind of weave they do something more invasive. But then
Uh-huh.
after her friend got it, she just hit her elbow and it went back to the way it was
Oh
before.
no.
It was like after the whole healing
No.
process. So she's like, don't get it, it's not worth it.
Oh, that
Uh,
sucks. You know, I can see that happening too. If you have arms in your
mhm.
arms in your chair and you lean on it a lot, I can
Yeah.
see that happening too. Like trying to keep your arm, like try to keep yourself elevated, like without touching stuff. Because
Hmm.
I have had little bits of things like that just from leaning too much.
Hmm.
For me, it happens in my hip for some reason. Like
Your
because of
hip?
the way my desk is situated. If I kind of turn a little crooked,
Hmm.
and if I sit for hours, and like my hip joint will start to hurt, or I'll start
Hmm.
getting that. or is it sciatica? So they'll have to get up and like walk around.
Oh,
But,
that sucks. Yeah, being sedentary is like surprisingly dangerous.
I know it's weird. Like you don't think about it. You know, you're sitting there doing stuff, and then
Hmm.
next thing you know, it's hours later, and you haven't moved.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oops. Yeah,
I had to get some
I do hear
acupuncture.
frogs.
What? Oh, yeah, that's here.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot of
someone
frogs.
says something about frogs. I'm like, I do hear frogs. Sorry.
Oh, oh my gosh.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
dude, you know who else is here? Bob the Angry Flower.
Oh,
Notley.
dude, Nolly's in here. He was in my stream too. Dude,
Hi,
Notley
Steve
moved,
Notley.
man.
What?
Oh, Notley moved.
Oh.
Aren't you down in California? I think he's down in California now. Yeah, I remember because he had a going away party and I didn't even know about it until I saw his text like the day after it was over, I think.
Oh, oh no.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
looking
no,
at
he's,
pictures today to because I thought it would be fun to just post some stupid stuff, like random PvZ stuff. And then
oh
I
yeah.
I saw one of with Steve Notley, and we were just making weird faces or something and looking like we're aggressive, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
Steve Notley.
Yeah,
We
we
had,
should talk about PvZ. Like
yeah, probably should.
these
Yay!
people are like, we came for PvZ. No, I
Everyone's
love
like,
your
what the hell are you
stories.
guys
They're always
talking
so
about? It's like so stupid.
we learned how to write and we like
Yeah, you know what's up? Jeez.
so I know how this went down, but I'm gonna ask
Yeah,
how did you get the job working as the artist for PVZ?
I flew down and I took George by the neck and I said, no, 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 no,
He's not kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
no, no. Actually, I just showed up down there.
He's like, hold his hand like I want to do
Come on, listen here. No, no, no. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, because they were looking for, you guys were looking for artists for a while. I think, if I remember right, you guys were looking for artists for a while, and you had a few people that had in mind, and
that.
wasn't quite working out. And then I just remember, I think I don't remember. I feel like I just reached out and was like, hey, can I apply for that
Okay, that's
position
right,
because
because
I
you were at
wasn't doing
PopCap
anything.
at the time, right? And you were like in
Yeah, I was
between
at
projects.
PopCap, but I wasn't doing anything. Like I was like, I think Notley and I were working on some stuff, but like it didn't go anywhere. But we were working on this game that Notley called Prince of Toys. Anyway, I remember
Prince
we were
of
working on that
Twains?
toys,
Oh,
like
toys.
toys.
Okay.
Yeah, Prince of Toys. Yeah, Prince of Toys. Yeah, he knows. Yeah, I was working on that, but that wasn't really going anywhere because we were trying all kinds of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw it was because you guys released the prototype for the company to play. It
Mm-hmm.
was like to test it or something like that. And I remember everybody was playing it. And I was like, what is that game? I was like, this is so cool. It's got zombies in it. And it's like, but
Did
it
you?
was like kind of kid like. So
Lopar also
yeah,
said they put out a call for artists with a strong propane background.
whatever.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Oh man.
No, it's fine. Is there anyone out there in the world that has a background of propane that can draw?
Oh man.
Yeah, so I remember I drew it was the marigold flower that was my submission.
Oh. Oh. Okay.
Yeah, I drew that marigold flower and then that first really gross looking zombie that I did that didn't look right at all. I think I did those two things. Yeah, and then George was like, I like the flower, I don't like the zombie. And he was like, can you try to like tone it down a little bit to match more like the pixel version? So then I did that. But yeah, that's how I got it. But which was so weird to me because like I can't believe that the San Francisco studio was like out looking for artists, and I mean, there's artists at PopCap that aren't doing anything. Like, why aren't you
Yeah,
letting
that
them know
seems
about it?
really strange. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird because they didn't put a call to artists or anything like that. So no one even knew at PopCap that Jordan was looking for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was kind of
Man.
weird.
Didn't
Yeah,
Matt work on some? Wait, did
yeah,
Matt work on
Matt
something a
did.
little for the game too? Like,
Yeah, he did UI stuff.
oh, okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a lot of the menus and like yeah, a lot of the on-screen UI stuff, a lot of that he did.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we sat next to each other, so he was working on that stuff while I was working on the characters. But yeah,
Uh, do you
I
have
think
oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say that the only regret that I have about all of it really is that I didn't get a chance to go back into the backgrounds because like
Oh,
I can't
that's
remember who that
right.
guy's name was,
That
Sergio or something
Enrique
like
or
that.
Sergio. Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. It's like I never met that guy, but I guess those backgrounds all were done way early, like
Mm-hmm.
way early, and by the time we got done with everything, those backgrounds still hadn't been touched. But because I don't know, I guess maybe just because we got used to them, it was just like that fits, so we just left them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know, but yeah, I do wish I could have updated them a little bit. I would not that I would have changed them a ton or anything. I just feel like I could have put a little extra in them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I always the one thing that was my favorite is the pool, like Todd's pool.
Yeah.
When he made
Oh,
the
the
pool effects, I was
water.
like, this is sick. Like, it was like the coolest looking thing. That
That
to me
was
was like
really
the
cool.
best. Yeah, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know how he did that, but
Mm-hmm.
especially for like 2D stuff, it came out so nice.
Todd was a really
Yeah.
good programmer. Like I remember
Oh,
George
for
was always
sure.
saying like, "Oh, his code is so clean. It's like so clean."
It's true. I don't think I've ever worked with anybody that was that meticulous about it, and that also willing to try new things and
Hmm.
to go outside the box just cause. Like he was
Yeah.
always game.
Hmm.
Like you say, hey, you think we do that? He goes, I don't know, just try it. Like he just go for it, right? So he didn't care. He would just go for it.
I like how
So
he was
I
really
mean,
passionate
yeah.
about programming too. Cause like, dude, the frogs are freaking going crazy outside. I'm sorry.
Those are real
Apologies. They're
frogs.
real frogs.
I thought you had some kind of ambient background noise going on in
No!
your studio.
I just have ambient frogs.
I don't know. I was like, well, maybe she just likes the sound of frogs. Those are real. Oh my
They're
god.
real, yeah. It's I don't know why they're going so
Mm.
nuts. But yeah, like I remember one of the times that we were up at PopCap, like I was working on one of my side projects and I was working on like a pretty basic state machine and I got stuck on something and I thought I'd ask like, "Oh, what would you do here?" And it was so funny cuz he was like, "Oh, are you working on a state machine?" I love state machines. And he had like a twinkle in his eye and he like came over and
That
he
is
was
so
just like
rad. Just going for it.
one of our mods,
Oh,
Lopar, he actually is the person who ported Rockwind to Nintendo Switch, and he's also like top
oh,
notch
sweet.
programmer.
Okay, nice.
And I like how people like that, they do get like a twinkle in their eye when they like know how to solve something or they, are able to just do
Yeah.
very elegant code and yeah.
I wouldn't. I'd look at it and be like, huh? No, I'm so bad. I'm like the worst coder ever. I don't know if you saw on my screen, but I typed in mustache mode or mustache,
uh-huh.
and when it made the mustaches come off, like, how do I turn them off? And I typed it again. It went away, and I'm off. I just programmed that in programmer. See, I coded in mustache and it went away. So good.
Oh, that I remember that. Yeah, mustache.
Someone
Yeah.
had me try it while I was playing it. I was like, oh, it does. I forgot about that.
Yeah, yeah, you programmed and you what was like the most challenging part of working on PvZ?
Challenge?
Mm.
Um, the most challenging part was the animation because
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because I was learning as I went. I didn't know a lot of the tricks, and so I didn't understand. I didn't understand how to do nested symbols and things like that, where you
Mm.
have like animations within animations.
Mm.
So everything I did was on the face. So like for instance, the Zomboss had like 60 layers, and all those pieces had to move
That's
in the right way,
crazy.
but they weren't nested at all. So everything was on the fly right then. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was so hard. It would just drive me crazy because I'd been trying to look at all the dots and the symbols and like keep them in order and stuff was
Mm.
super hard. And then I learned after that about them. I was like, oh, now I damn it. Like that's why Octaged was so much easier to animate for me because I was like able to utilize all that. But
Mm.
PvZ, I was terrible.
Yeah.
And I accidentally did everything on 24 frames a second instead of 60.
Oh no,
So
gosh.
everything was like so slow. It was like was awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing about games. It's like you can like work on something for months or years and then be like, oh crap, like I had I done this one thing
Totally.
differently. Yeah.
Especially when you realize that you still have a long way to go and you're like, I can't change it now. I have to keep it the way it was. Yeah, I think that was the hardest thing. That was bad. For
I
sure.
didn't
Everything
know
else
he
was
had
like
60 layers. That's
something like
freaking
that. It's so
insane.
many. Yeah,
My gosh. How did you like
yeah.
design Zomboss? Was it based off anything or were you just like, robot, zombie, go?
Well, no, did you see? I don't know if you saw the first one. The first one, it was more like a cyborg. It was like a zombie. It had like skin on it, and it was like the skin was ripping off. And George
Ew.
was like, "That's gross." Like it was almost like Terminator, right? So like there was bits of metal sticking out of it.
Oh,
But
I'm pretty
then,
sure I must have seen this at some point.
yeah, I did a sketch of it, I think, one time, and it was like, nah. The rest was just kind of on the fly. I was just like, I don't know, then I'm just gonna make this robot. But I like the idea of it being controlled from inside of his head. So that's why they have that control thing with top or whatever. With what's his name? He's on boss. What's the robot's name?
I think it was Doctor. Oh wait, no, yeah. I
Yeah, it's
There was
Dr.
Doctor
Zomboss.
Zomboss, but did the robot have a name?
Maybe the robot didn't have a
And
name.
people would
I don't think it
actually
had a
us for
name.
this. Like sometimes if I say something, they'll be like, "Don't you mean this?" And I'm like, "I don't play the game constantly. I worked on it like
So I don't know.
15 years ago."
Well, so you see, the Zomboss. It's technically a robot, so it's Zombot, not Zombot. It's exactly 10 meters high compared to Zomboss, who's only 2 meters high, and he sits inside.
Dude, isn't that crazy though? Did you ever think that like while you were making it that people would get that particular about it and like
Like that passionate, like
yeah.
really wanting to have like all this lore behind it and stuff.
That's
No, it's trippy
crazy.
though, isn't it? I never thought that would happen
Yeah,
ever.
because I thought it was a
Like
great
ever.
game, but like it was like at the time it was like, oh, it's a casual game, so I had no
Yeah.
idea that it was gonna, yeah.
I think a lot of that has to do with all the flavor text that was added to all the characters.
hmm
All that stuff that actually, if Steve's still in here, not because he did all that stuff, right? So he made up
Yeah,
all this
those were
sort of
so
like
funny.
backstory, and they were just like he just was making stuff up. Like he's like, I'm just gonna make this world up, and it worked. And I think people look at that stuff and think that there must be more, like more and more
Mm.
and more.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I think it just kind of went away. It kind of went on its own. I mean, I've read so many weird theories about where things are from and how they were created and how they know each other and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't even know that.
It's crazy. And I think another thing is when people play a game when they're like super little, then it becomes like part of their identity too. So they get really
Oh
into it.
yeah.
And there were people who were playing the game when they were like 3 years old, which is wild to me. But I guess that makes sense because
Hmm.
the touch screen, when it got on iPad, then little kids could figure out how to play it. I
Oh,
was just,
totally. I think that was really great that they did that. It was perfect
yeah.
game for that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that was like a perfect storm, honestly, for how that worked out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
There's so
yeah,
much
well,
fan
like
fiction too. Like,
like a lot. Some of it you don't want to see,
yeah.
but there are some.
That was just like the first time I was like looking up like DuckTales, Darkwing Duck stuff when I was a kid and I was just looking through things and I was like, there's a lot of fan fiction about Launchpad McQuack. And I was like,
Oh no,
he's a
Launchpad.
duck. Like, you guys, he's a duck.
Isn't Launchpad the one with the wheel for
The
the bottom of
what?
his body? Doesn't Launchpad have like the wheel?
The
Is that the
wheel?
robot guy?
Oh, what's that guy's name? I know who you're talking about. Finton is his human or his duck form, and then Super Duck or Mega Duck, or no,
Oh, someone wrote in here
Gizmo Duck.
Gyro. Oh, Gizmo. Oh,
Yeah.
Gizmo. That's right.
Thanks, Winged Fox.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Launchpad's the one that
Yeah.
has like the big jaw, you
Oh
know,
yeah, he's the must
like,
guy.
hey, Mr.
Okay, I
McD.
remember it. Of course, he's that guy. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because that's funny that you said that because one of my favorite
You're
games
like,
from when
because
I
when
was a
I was
kid
a kid.
was yeah. I used to draw these drawing. No, 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 no. No, but I used to play DuckTales game on my Nintendo, and that was the one that was one of the first games I ever beat.
Nice, nice.
And I have like a special spot for that one. I actually even got they made relaunch of it with updated graphics and stuff. Like it's been years now, but I bought it for the Xbox. So
Mhm.
I had to have it.
Yeah, no, that game was cool. Like
Yeah,
Disney
the next
licensed
one.
titles, the ones that Capcom did, they did like a really
Yep.
good job. Like that's the one where he's hopping on his like pogo cane.
Yeah, his cane
Yeah.
and he's boing, boing. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I love that game. It was so fun.
That
Oh,
one was good. I also really like Chippendale's Rescue Rangers and Darkwing
yep.
Duck. Those were all real fun.
Those are all really good. So you didn't watch what was the other one? It was with Baru, the bear.
Oh, Tailspin.
Tailspin, yeah.
Yeah.
Not so much of a tailspin one.
Oh, I like Tailspin. I think I played the NES one a bit because we didn't have it, so I think I checked it out on emulator later. It was like a
Mm.
plain, like a shmup kind of
Oh,
game,
was it?
I
Oh,
think.
I never played that one. But
Yeah.
that those franchises when they came out, they were all really popular. I
Mm-hmm.
just remember that. And I was in high school. I still had it. I come home like I'm gonna watch DuckTales.
Yeah, Disney
Uh,
afternoon, good stuff.
yeah, no, totally, it was awesome.
Yeah. So let's see. What about
Yeah, what
like
else?
what was the most rewarding part of working on the game for you?
Finishing it? I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No,
I mean, fair. That's
I mean, what was it like 4 years or something like that?
or I guess you could say like not rewarding. You could say like favorite, like the most fun
Oh, I just
part, or
to be honest, I just loved coming down and being able to hang out in the San Francisco studio.
yeah,
Because we,
yeah.
because we'd stay up late and play video games and be stupid, and I just liked being in that environment. Because when I'm up here, like it was fun, but like it was like at the end of the day, I'm still just kind of by myself in a way. I mean, even though I'm with a bunch of people, like I was with Matt and a bunch of other guys, but
Mm, mm,
when I'm working on stuff by myself, right?
mm,
Like
mm.
there's no back and forth with anybody that I work with about like what looks good and what doesn't look good, stuff like that. But when
Yeah.
I would go down there and work, it'd be like, oh, I could show stuff right off, like right there. Oh, check this out. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And go back and forth. I think that was the most fun. I think the most fun I ever had was when we made the music video together.
Yes, the music video. That was really fun.
It was so fun. I remember I remember stressing out because we made it like 1 week, and I remember sitting there working, and I was the only one working because everybody was playing Castle Crashers behind me. And then one of George's friends came in and was like, grenade! He started throwing stuff
Was
at
that
me and like,
Dan? Like
yes,
okay.
yeah, Dan. And so I dodging behind the cushions and stuff. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm here trying to time animations to the songs behind me throwing stuff and act like a maniac.
Oh
It was
my
like so
gosh.
stupid. Oh man, yeah, and that was like I didn't mind working late then either because I didn't even care.
Mm.
I just like being in that environment. It was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just hanging out
I remember
and then
like,
going out
oh,
to
go
eat.
ahead. You're going out to eat.
And then George would try to take me to the craziest places he could find, and I
Dude.
would try whatever food.
Yeah, so the thing I texted you about the other day. So,
Yeah, that's right.
does anyone in chat know Hot Pot City? It's like basically it's like a big cook your own food. They have like meat and vegetables everywhere, and then you have a big soup pot and like a donut shaped thing where you can like pan fry or grill food. And so Rich like will eat anything, right? Are you still like that? You're
Not as
like,
much, not as much now, but I used to do it only because it would shock George. I would just try it just to see what he'd say.
and Todd too, because Todd's like the
Well, Todd
opposite.
especially.
Todd was like, my favorite food is white bread and vanilla ice cream, and like so I was like the exact opposite.
Well, it's like when I told you that he came up here and he had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and he thought I was serious for dinner.
with
You're like,
with a light
yeah,
beer.
sounds right. With a Bud Light.
Todd is great. Oh, oh, man. But yeah, so at Hot Pot City, I remember you wanted to try some crazy stuff. And you were just like chatting it up with the waiter, and he was super friendly. And he came over and he's like, "Oh yeah, you want to try interesting things?" And he's like, "I've got some pig's blood." And you're like, "Oh yeah, dude, yeah, that'd be cool, yeah, man." So you're like eating these cubes of pork blood, I think.
Yeah, it was like these weird black cube things.
Was it? I personally don't
Yeah,
like
like
blood
blood
because
cubes.
it tastes like you bit your tongue or something. That's what it
I
makes
know
me think
it
of.
wasn't good. I wouldn't say it tasted good. Oh yeah. Or when we would get stuff on a stick and I would get like chicken hearts and like
Oh,
what was it? Cartilage. Cartilage is the
yeah,
stupidest thing to eat ever.
that's right. We took you to that Japanese grill place. Okay,
Yeah, and I was like, I'll take that. It's
I
like,
remember. Okay, so there's a Japanese pepper called shishito pepper, and it's like Russian roulette pepper because 1 out of 10 or something is really, really spicy, and the rest of the time
oh,
it'll just be like a bell pepper. And so we got those, and I was the only one that got a spicy one, and everyone was giving me so much crap about it. They're like, "Oh, you're so wimpy about spice." I'm like, "No, I swear, it's really spicy." And then I think like the second round came, and finally everyone, like someone else got like a spicy one. Like, see, it's not just me.
so good. And of course, they're gonna give you lots of crap.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, dude, oh my god. I just thought of something that's gonna make me crack up. This is so stupid. It was when I went excuse me. Sorry. It's when I came down to work. I think we're still working on PvZ. And we took oh, what's his name? He worked at PopCap too, Asian guy. He
Asian
was
guy
George's friend.
at PopCap?
Yeah, he was George's friend.
Yuta, but he
Damn
didn't
it.
work. Wait, no, it was
No, no,
someone
no,
who
not
worked
Yuta.
there?
Yeah, he was friends with oh damn, why can't I think right
PopCap
now?
South or?
Yeah, no, PopCap with us. It was
Oh,
in our office. He actually was my boss for a little while. I flew down there with him to come hang out with you
why
guys.
can't I remember? There weren't that many Asian
Um,
guys at PopCap.
damn it, why is it
Oh, what did he
oh
do? Was he
man.
business? Was he?
Oh no, he worked on he did the art for Insane Aquarium.
Oh, Tyson.
Tyson, yes, I know it
Okay.
was a T. I kept
I
wanting to
guess I
say,
didn't shuffle him in that because he's half Asian. He's like
yeah,
Kappa,
what's
right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, but we took Tyson. Tyson went with me down there, and we went out to eat at this place where you it was like Pictionary. Remember, you could draw pictures on the tablet at the table,
Oh,
and
okay,
then everybody had to
yeah.
guess,
Uh-huh,
and they had to
uh-huh.
guess, and there was like leaderboards,
Yeah, yeah.
and I started drawing stuff that had nothing to do with anything, and everybody kept trying to guess what was happening.
That was so funny.
And I was like, I drew a guy getting hit by a car, and then like Tyson is like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Look, look!" And then I drew another picture of this guy like laying in a pool of blood with like a knife stuck in his back, and like I was drawing all this stuff. And then when it came out that it was had nothing to do with any of that, and he was laughing so hard that he was like laying on the seat, like it was so dumb. I had him going for like 20 minutes, and he kept drawing this just the most random things over and over again. Oh man, it was so fun.
Oh
Or
my
that time
gosh.
we were playing. We remember the version we had on the Game Boys, and you would draw little
Oh,
drawings on there.
yeah. Oh, shoot. What was that called? I love that game. It was like
And I can't
Telestrations, but
remember.
it was, yeah,
Yeah, but
pictures.
yeah, Pictionary kind of game. And I remember this. I don't know why I drew this, but there was one drawing where I drew a guy jumping off a building and said, "I'm free." And I can't remember what it was for, but it was like nothing to do with like what the prompt was. And George was like, "What?" Like he was like falling to his death. I'm free.
Oh my
That was
gosh.
awesome. Yeah, PictoChat.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you,
Yeah, it was
Advan.
called
Picto
PictoChat.
Chat. That was fun. It was
Oh
fun
man.
getting Todd to try to play those games too, because he'd be like, "I don't draw," and we're like, "No, but that makes it more fun if you have people that like don't draw. It makes it even better."
That's way better. Honestly, having the ability to draw makes you kind of almost gives you a disadvantage because you think too hard. Like I
Yeah.
think too much of how it should look instead of just whipping something out that doesn't really matter as long as it gets the point across.
So then you have to do
But
something
yeah,
stupid on purpose, like.
I just have to just to make it worthwhile. Oh my gosh, someone's asking if we take questions. Just like going off for no reason. So dumb. I knew this was gonna end up like this. It was so
Oh my
funny.
gosh. Well, I haven't talked to you in a long time, so I figure it
Oh,
was
I
gonna.
know.
Do
This
you
is how
remember
it
when we
was when I
played
was hanging out with
Mafia?
Todd.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Mafia.
Oh my god, everyone. Dude, that boss of the programmer, the head of the programmers. He was like so into it, and he like tricked everyone.
Oh,
That guy was
I
funny.
can't remember who that was. Did it off the top of my head.
I just
Oh
remember it
man, I
got real
remember playing like it being like
serious.
yeah, he goes like super serious about it. We're just like trying to play the game. He's like so into it. Or when we would play telestrations, but with our own rules, that was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
fun.
I
We
still
just
have
write
some of
stuff.
those videos because like the final booklets were so stupid, and it was just like,
I know. It was no fun when we tried to play it legitimately. It was
mm,
like kind of boring.
you gotta
But
just
then we
like make
started
up your
making up
own
our own stuff.
prompts.
Yeah, man, it's so good.
The one I remember too is like, and I think I mentioned this to Hallie, but I think we're playing Coup with Maddie. That one where you get like two generals and you have to
Yeah. Oh yeah,
pretend.
yeah, yeah.
And somehow it just devolved into Hallie got her camera and she was doing stop motion of us doing these weird poses. And for some reason, we're trying to time it with the People's Court music. And I don't know why we
I
it's
totally
so
remember that. Like anytime someone would ask a question, like, "So what do you think?" I think it's this, and it's all,
dumb.
"Da-da-da-da."
Yeah.
And then and then we started taking the pictures, and the timing was so good.
And then we tried to
That
take
was
a
right. That was with
picture
Maddie.
of the camera, like of the pictures. Yeah, Maddie was there too. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, chat.
It's so dumb.
It's yeah.
I
Uh,
love it though. Well, this is what it takes, you guys.
this is what it takes to make a game. You have to just be really stupid all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's where all the good ideas come from.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Oh,
Uh, oh my
I know.
gosh.
Hallie and I were talking about that not that long ago. Because we were playing Coup, and I was like, "Remember that time?" She was like, "Oh yes."
Dun, dun, dun. Especially if someone wouldn't answer, like, are you really this? Are you really the treasure guy or whatever? And then if they didn't answer for a while, we'd be like, dun, 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 dun. Ah, oh my gosh.
Oh man.
You know, my next question was actually, do you have any interesting memories or stories related to working on PvZ? So it's relevant.
I think that's all I've been talking about. Crazy stuff like that. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting stories. Oh, dude. So
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. How do you feel about working at like a big company like EA or PopCap
Oh,
versus like working at a smaller studio or like on an independent project or
well, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I mean, they all have their ups and downs, I guess. But it's like the corporate side of things is just the thing about it is usually if you're working for a bigger company, the rules are already laid out in front of you. There's not a lot of risk taking. So there's like, unless you're in some kind of development phase or like some department that just comes up with ideas, which there's not a lot. Not a lot of people work doing that.
I'm
So a
sorry,
lot of
I
times
can't
it's like things are already
concentrate on
there.
your answer because of what Kristen said. I'm just gonna
What
let you
what is
read
it?
it.
Wait, where? Hold on.
Kristen.
How far up? Oh no. Where is
She says
it? Read it. I don't see it.
versus
Sorry.
working on a Titanic like Shrek Super Slam.
Yeah, what's the difference?
I'm
Oh, there,
so
I see it
sorry.
now. I see it.
I'm so sorry. I was trying to concentrate, and then I see that pop up.
Oh my
Like,
god.
dang it.
Oh man. Oh. Well, I
Ah,
mean, that's the thing, right? Like, you have all these rules you have to follow. And actually, you know what? Because you said that, I will tell you that working for a big company was really hard because the worst game I ever worked on, and it was hell, was the Harry Potter game that I did, Prisoner of Azkaban.
oh,
I did that for what is that? What's that one? That is it Oh, Game Boy Advance. Yeah, I
Game Boy
did for
Advance.
Game
Uh
Boy
huh.
Advance and also for that flip one. Remember that one?
The flip.
It was like a little
Oh,
box.
the 3DS or the DS
Yeah, the DS. Yeah, I did it for
or
both those,
Game
but
Boy Advance or something.
one of those things. But like it sucked because you would do everything.
Mm.
I did all these backgrounds, like especially there was this train sequence and I had to do these backgrounds for the train. and I did all of them, and then they're like, nah, we don't know if we like that the way the angle is. Change it by like 20% or some crap.
Hmm.
So then I had to go back and redo the whole thing again, and
That
then they decided to change their
sucks.
mind again
Uh-huh.
and again and again. I drew the
Hmm.
train so many times until they finally got to where they wanted it, and
Uh-huh.
the way they wanted it ended up looking worse than any of the other versions. But then I
Yes.
had to do the whole rest of the game that way,
Oh
and it was
my
like the
gosh.
perspectives were all wrong and everything, and they're like, "That's how we want it." I'm like, "Oh my god!" So I basically had to work on a game for like a year doing just stuff I hated because none of it looked good. I didn't want to show anybody even. I was just like, it
Hmm.
looks terrible.
That happened to me
But
with
yeah,
Minesweeper. There was a Minesweeper game. And I was like excited because I was like, I love Minesweeper, and they were making some like kind of military version something, but the company was working with Xbox, I think, or Microsoft for it. So there was like all these people that had their hands in it. And so the first track I made, I thought fit really well, and then it was more melodic, and everyone was like, "Oh, no, make it more like this. Oh, you know what? Here's an example. Make it more like this." And so there was all these people telling me what it should be like, and so I was like, "Okay." So I redid it so many times, and then the final version was like so bad compared to it was just completely washed out. And I remember the head of
uh,
that company was like, it's like you didn't try this time. And I was like, no, you don't understand. The first one was good. I
I
really.
know that's the thing. I know it's like well, because usually you have somebody that's in charge of everything, but a lot of times I mean, it's not. It's like I don't want to fault somebody for being in that position because
Mm, mm.
they have to make these bizarre decisions based on people even higher up than them. But that taking chances is really difficult. Like
Yeah. Mm.
it's hard to get someone to try something that's really new and not safe, right? Because if you don't play it safe, it doesn't work out. Then it's your ass, right? Like especially if you're like leading a team. So like especially in a big company like that, so you kind of have to like play the game, you know.
Yeah. Mm.
And so and not play the game, but I mean like play the game of like you know
The business thing,
out of
like
the hierarchy
check
of
off all
like
the boxes
work hard.
and.
Yeah, yeah. And
Mm.
so they kind of that's what ends up making things kind of in that sort of gray area. It's kind of fun, but not really fun. You know, like it's sort of like just kind of cookie cutter kind of games. A lot of times is what happens. That's why the indie studios and stuff. I think this works out because all those people are taking chances. If it doesn't work
Mm.
out, then it doesn't work out. But at least they're trying something new or
Yeah.
trying different things. You know.
Mm.
So I think yeah. I mean, and I don't want to. I'm not discouraging anybody. It's like if if you want to get in the industry, take whatever you can. You know, I mean, whatever. Just get in the door. It doesn't matter where it is. You
Yeah.
can always
Yeah.
change later, but the ideal spot I think would be like sort of. It's tricky because like a startup company is also scary because if it doesn't work out, then they run out of money, then you have no job, right? You're done. So
Mm.
if you can find a company that has maybe one or two games under its belt and still is fairly small, not in the hundreds of employees, I think it'd probably be the best situation.
Mm.
We have a little bit of, got kind of the best of both worlds, something like in the maybe 40, 50 range, something like that of people. Just because I think you have a better chance of being part of designing something or creating something new than you would if you work for a big company, but also you have a little bit more stability than you would if it's a brand new startup,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But also when you're young, you can take those chances too, because like what, if it doesn't work out, so what? You're young. If you're especially in your early 20s, you can always go back home. I did a couple times. It doesn't always work out. But I mean, at least you're able to do that instead of when later in life when you have too many other obligations and things that you can't take
That's
those
true.
chances.
Mm-hmm. That's good
Right?
advice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Because I think like a lot of people worry they either have to work at a really like, I don't know, stable company, big job and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's kind of a good time to take chances. And when you do have a smaller studio, you're probably going to be working on something a bit more interesting and you can take more
Hmm.
chances. And yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and I think you'll feel. I think you get more ownership out of it too,
Mm.
because you're more part of the final product than you would be like a small a small person like in this giant contraption, right,
Yeah.
of stuff
Yeah.
happening. You're
Mm-hmm.
just like this one little person. Like, but if you're working in a smaller company, you probably have your hands in more things than even just the one thing that you know. So maybe you'll learn more stuff too,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
that's how it was. I mean, that's how it was for me pretty much because all the companies I worked for at the beginning were small. So I learned how to do everything. I didn't go to school for graphic design. I mean, I have a degree in graphic design. So I've never used it.
I didn't
But
go
like,
to school for graphic design. Just my degree.
they gave me they gave it to me. But they changed by the time I finished school, they changed the program to graphic design and we just had to do that kind of. It was so stupid. But but so like, I graphic design or like animation. I didn't go to school for animation. I only went to school for illustration. So really, it's like you learn all these other things as you go because
Yeah.
you have a chance to work on them because there's only so many people, so you have to take on multiple tasks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you learn more that way. You're not just pigeonholed into one little small section of things.
That's true. Yeah, I
So,
didn't get my degree in music. I did
see,
yeah, not at all. I did business and international relations with this focus on Northeast Asian politics, so it's complete departure. I did
what the
yeah, yeah, I know, right? I thought I was going to become a lawyer and sit on like a global think tank and write foreign policy. I was like super into that stuff.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew that. That's crazy.
I worked for this research fellow who wrote foreign policy between the United States and Africa. And I was like, oh, I love this stuff. Diplomacy, policy. I also
That's
took a
so
lot of computer
wild.
science classes too, because I always loved video games and I always
Yeah.
did artistic stuff on the side, but I didn't think I could do anything with it because I grew up in like a place that was like very, very highly like academic, like you got to be an engineer or a lawyer or a doctor or something like that. And so I was like, oh, okay, it's just a hobby. So,
Yeah.
but I just was like, well, I love it. So I
Man,
learned
that's
what I needed
crazy.
to.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I mean, look, yeah. Well, that just goes to show anybody out there, like, you don't have to know exactly what you want to do right
Mhm.
away. It kind of comes to you, right? Like you'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're a
When
hard
they're all called
worker
Judge
and yeah.
Judge Shiggy. That's my singer.
I don't think I'm cut out for it though. Like, I don't think I could do all the writing and all the, I don't know.
I can't see, like, what if you were like an actual judge? I can't even see you in front of me like, order. I can't even see you getting mad.
Order in the court.
Yo, guys,
Get out of my
guys.
court. Dun, 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 dun.
Just like play that on the mic. Hey. So good.
Oh, that King of Crimson had a good question earlier I wanted to come back to.
Oh man.
Let's see, let me scroll up a bit. Wait, that's his, oh, okay. King of Crimson says, Rich, what's your favorite PvZ song? And Laura, what's your favorite designed character from PvZ? Also, hi,
Oh
Abbots.
man.
My favorite character.
Here's my problem is I always forget the names of the songs.
Oh yeah, because I
know
all
the
dumb
songs.
songs at the end. Or dumb song names, I mean.
Man, like what's the one when you first start playing and you're just playing the game like right away?
The Grasswa? Or the one for the daytime in the backyard?
Yeah. That's like the most iconic one to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
When I hear that one, it makes me feel relaxed. Like I just feel like that song along with the planting sound at the same time. It's like really satisfying. I don't know why. I like that one a lot.
Grasswalk? Okay,
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think I have to. Well, I don't know if this is my favorite design for a character, but by far my favorite character for the level of stupid would be the zombie bobsled team.
Oh yeah.
Because it's
Which is so
ridiculous.
random.
It just kept ramping up, right? It's like suddenly there's a Zamboni driver. And then it's like, wait, what's going to happen next? There's ice. Oh, of course, a bobsled team.
I know, an entire team.
I love it because it's so stupid.
It's so ridiculous. I know. It takes so long to get to that point. I always forget about some of those characters because they're like way later in the game. Man, yeah, I know. Like, and who thinks of that? Like, I'm gonna. Why? Why is that even there? Like, why is the Zamboni even making ice across the lawn in the first place? Just so that the zombie bobsled team can go on it. Like that's his whole deal. That and the stupid zombie dolphin.
Oh yeah,
sense.
it's true.
Like, why is that guy carrying a dolphin and throws it?
Well, he has to be a zombie too. He can't just be a normal dolphin. He's a zombie dolphin.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
That's like I don't know. Excuse me. That's like there's a oh my god in Octageddon when we made that game. There's a I don't know if you watched the cutscene with
Oh, yeah.
the best octopus. It's like the Academy Awards for who's the best octopus, and the dolphin wins, and it's the dolphin from PvZ.
I just love the premise that it was all things that he would get so mad over that he would like want to destroy entire cities over it.
Oh yeah,
And it was like, what's the dumbest reason to get that mad? He wanted
I know that's what made him so mad.
the best octopus was actually a dolphin.
And he gets like super pissed.
It's like octopus appropriation.
Totally. Those were so fun to come up with. Oh my god, just the dumbest ideas ever.
The first one was like a
Oh.
sushi one, right? Where the chef was making
Yeah, he was like
tacos.
watching a sushi show, and he's like chops the octopus tentacle. He's all
That was funny.
just like so mad.
Oh my gosh. Mm. Mm,
Yeah,
mm.
so good stuff.
My favorite for design, tricycle zombie. Or not he.
Tricycle.
I mean, the guy who likes the tricycle, the one that's like, I like your tricycle. I think he's Digger
Oh
Zombie.
that. Oh that. Oh yeah.
I have
That's right.
some
That's like during the
lore.
song, right? That's right.
I
Why, oh
added
yeah.
some
Why
lore
is
to
that
the
really?
game.
Is that where that came from? Because is that tricycle your idea?
So I thought the Digger Zombie is actually kind of a softie, and he would want to take singing lessons. So that's why on the album cover it's all plants except it's Digger Zombie because he's
Oh.
yeah, because he's sensitive. Because in the song he's like, "Oh, I really like your tricycle," so he's got a soft side.
Oh my gosh! I never even knew that. That's awesome. See,
So
you made up more.
I think I also came up with like
So
anything
good.
that sounds dumb, like for names, like Twitty Dinkies. I think that's mine.
Mm-hmm. The name for like the back of the car stuff. The crazy name's trunk. His actual car too. I always love that part when it opens up and you can see his rollerblades inside there.
Because he actually had rollerblades, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Dave, real Dave.
yeah. Real Dave
Yeah.
had rollerblades in his trunk, so
So
that's why those were named.
George told me a story once. I wasn't here for this, but he said that no, I'm getting scrugged from like laughing so much. He said that like Dave really wanted to go to like an all-you-can-eat pizza place, and nobody else really wanted to go because like they weren't that hungry to eat like endless like bottomless pizza. But apparently Dave was like, "No, you really got to go. It's like really really good." And so they all went there for lunch. He orders like 3 or 4 whole pizzas, and right after the food goes, like gets there, he's just like, oh shoot, I got a call, I gotta go," and then he just leaves.
He did. He left and he never came back. He like stiffed everybody. I heard that story too, and I was like, "What? Like, why would you do that?"
And I kept
Then
meeting
George, they're
people
like,
that
"Wait,
worked
what?"
with him, like that would all have really funny stories too. Like people that worked with him at I forgot the company he was at before, but I met like at least 3 people at separate occasions when I was at EA that had worked with him on at different companies, and they all had like crazy stories. And one of them was the can one where it would be like dripping down
Yeah, that's like, you know what's funny? I have a cousin who does that.
I wonder why. How? Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Like, yeah, the holding it right in the very corner of your mouth and drinking it. It's so weird though. I don't know. It must be satisfying. But dude, Dave's gonna watch this and be like,
But we like Dave. Dave is cool.
"Oh,
These
of
are all
course,
like
of course."
quirky things. Like I do
No,
weird
it's
stuff too.
awesome. He's like the raddest dude. He's
Inspired
always been
really
nothing but
iconic
super
character.
nice. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And he was
I
always really
like
good at
him.
explaining board games and stuff. Like whenever there was
Yeah,
stuff, he was super good at like getting people up and playing really fast, so you wouldn't have to sit there and read the instructions for like an
yeah.
hour.
No, I know because that was his. Wasn't that more his jam than anything else? Was board games?
I think
I
so.
feel like he
Yeah.
was really into them. So I remember going down there and when they still had that one office in downtown San Francisco, and there's board games everywhere.
Hmm.
what I remember. Like, yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
that was kind of more his like his thing. That he really liked that.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
So I have to ask everyone who comes on the stream about favorite foods. I say, what's your favorite foods, your favorite drinks?
oh,
Also, why did you make a creepy zombie meatloaf?
oh, I don't know.
It's gross. Do you make cursed foods a lot?
No.
Is that what you feed your kids?
Every meal is like something really horrible.
Tonight's meal looks like a horse corpse.
Oh my god. I've made a foot and a zombie head.
A foot.
Um, yeah, I made a zombie foot. No, I don't know. It's only for Halloween because like
Oh,
when
okay.
because but most people don't like. That's the biggest holiday that we celebrate in my house. So Halloween is like the biggest thing,
Mhm.
and so we had this meatloaf recipe that got passed down from Hallie's dad, which we always loved. And he's passed on. And,
Mhm.
he gave us that recipe, and so every year we try to make one. And I thought I'd incorporate it into our Halloween, so that's why I started making the zombie head out of it. So it tastes good, but it looks kind of cool and creepy.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, that's where that came from is
Mhm.
from that. I don't know. As far as favorite foods though, I don't know. I'm not. It's weird because I cook a lot of food, but I don't really eat a lot of food. Honestly, just a dude. I'm pretty simple. Just a good
Mhm.
steak, and with sides and stuff. That's like my favorite. And obviously my favorite. Well, I'm yeah. I like beer.
The
I
drinking
just
level
do.
always went up when you came down.
I know. I know.
It was like your presence was enabling. I never ever drink in the day, like ever. But when you were visiting, I would.
What? Hey, it was
Yeah.
lunchtime. No, what I was getting so bad. I know. Those were bad times. I mean, those are probably bad times. Like PopCap made it that way for everybody. Everybody was like, it was kind of just a thing. It was
Oh.
constant there. That it if you didn't drink, like it
Because
was
George
like
doesn't
weird.
drink.
I know that's why he had to stay in San Francisco. Oh, sure, what? Sure. They're like, you're not allowed to come up here. No, I know that was always the crazy part. Yeah, because George didn't drink at all. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I have my ups and downs.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
So,
Let's see. This one you kind of already touched upon, but like, do you have advice for people who want to get into the game industry or if they want to become artists? And also any like
oh,
warnings. Because I think it's good to have both sides, like that people know.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, oh, it's kind of difficult to say. Well, because I have the same problem. Saying I teach portfolio classes too, so like sometimes I'll have this same question for students that are leaving the school looking for work, right? Um, really, I mean, it's the beginning is usually really hard because like, well, first of all, to become good at the craft, you have to practice, and so like, you have to have enough discipline to like keep wanting to make things and wanting to better the things that you made previously. Like
Mhm.
it sort of has to you have to kind of have that mentality in the first place to like be wanting to keep creating because if you're not passionate about creating it you're not gonna get to a point where you're in I mean in all reality you might not get to the point where you're hireable, right? Because like there's a lot of people out there that are trying really really hard, and so if you're not trying really hard you're not going to stick out, and you're trying to stick out, right? So first of all, it's just practice, like just constantly doing stuff. And then secondly, I think is not to pigeonhole yourself into a certain. A lot of times they say pick a certain thing and only do that. Like they're like, oh, you're good at backgrounds, only do backgrounds, and that's it. And that's how you'll get your job. I mean, you could
Mhm.
say that, but I would say like have that plus something on the side as well that you're working on, so that you have kind of a versatile background. maybe not more than a couple things. So you don't want to be like all over the place because then you'll
Right,
have like a
right.
bunch of mediocre stuff. So like maybe picking a couple of different things that you're passionate about and working on both of them. Maybe having a portfolio that's separated, so where you have just one that's focused on one thing, one is focused on the other. That way you can, when you're applying for jobs, you're only showing work that's relevant to the position. So you don't want to you don't want to go into a job and apply as a character designer and have backgrounds as your
Mm.
as your artist. You're like, what is this? I don't get it. You know? So, I mean, tailoring your portfolio is really big as far as trying to get jobs. Um, and yeah, and just being unafraid to apply for everything. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like even if you feel like I'm not good enough to be at that company, or I don't feel like I'm good enough, so what, man? Just it doesn't hurt to apply, right? Who cares? Like if you
Mm.
don't get it, you'll get it. You'll get it. Maybe you'll get it next time. You know, maybe you'll get a letter back that tells you what they're really looking for. You might even get critique back from somebody. You know, so I don't know. I just think just it's all about just. I think it's just all about just trying over and over again and just not giving up. To be honest, like
Mm.
just don't be afraid. Just not being afraid to put yourself out there is like the biggest thing because a lot of people are afraid to put themselves out there because they might doubt themselves or feel like maybe I'm not good enough to do that. But having that mentality means you never will, right? So like just trying, you never know. You might apply for a position where like this art style is exactly what we're looking for. Maybe not for this project, but maybe for this other project we really want to start working on. This is perfect for that, but they wouldn't have known that if you didn't apply for it. So
Mm.
it's just about being consistent. Like practicing your craft consistently, keeping your portfolio updated, and just applying to everything, like no matter what. You know, just keep going and going. And also, if you're going to art school, the sooner you can get your art school pieces out of your portfolio, the better,
Mm.
because it becomes noticeable to where like oh that's an art school piece. Like you can tell, especially when it comes to things um like life drawing and things like that, or like sometimes even some illustration work, things like that, even character design. Like the formula is there because everyone at the school is doing that same formula. So like
Mm.
you can tell that they're just doing it for school, but once you get out of art school, that's when you really start working on your own stuff and start using that, using all the stuff you learned in school to create new pieces that will eventually push everything out of your portfolio. Now you only have that, and that makes it better and better, right?
Mm.
So I'm just getting stuff out there and getting past the schoolwork portfolio pieces and into like original pieces will help you a lot. And also trying to stay away from um, pop culture stuff as
Oh.
as your portfolio. Like coming up with your original character designs is cool, but like if you have a if you're applying to be a character designer and you're like, oh, here's some versions of X character from other games. They're like they don't, and you're applying for that company maybe like for me, for instance, like let's say I was applying because I worked on SpongeBob, right? But like my portfolio didn't have SpongeBob in it at all. Like nothing to do with SpongeBob. But if I were to give them a portfolio with SpongeBob in it, they'd be like, why do we want to hire you? We already have people that can draw SpongeBob. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not what they're looking. They're not looking for someone to emulate what they're working on.
Mm.
They're looking for someone that has fresh ideas also. So try to stick away from pop culture stuff unless you're doing it for like Instagram or Twitter or something like that. If you want to get a following that way, then
Mm.
that's cool to build up like a following of people, but not for applying for jobs though. Anyway, I don't know if it makes sense,
That actually is really
but
good advice because I've seen a lot of people where their portfolios are all kind of topical, like what's popular at the time,
yeah,
like Undertale characters or Five Nights at Freddy's or things like that. So that's actually really good to know. I didn't know that.
yeah, or what you could do too is you could take the style of illustration that they're doing, but apply that style to unique characters. Like so
Mm-hmm.
if a company is known for only working on like super cartoon stuff with like maybe colored outlines and cell shading, maybe do some artwork that's original characters, but it's done in that style where it's like I'm using cell shading, I'm using colored lines, I'm using certain techniques that you can kind of pull out from the work that they're doing. So like you're like, oh, if this company wants to be on brand and always every game they do has a specific style, you could match that style, but you could also come up with new things which would help when they come up with new character ideas and new things for new games, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something I kind of learned along the way is being able to emulate also, like trying to emulate other people's work as far as just like the way that they're like just the style that's drawn in and stuff, but not copying the characters so much. That kind of helped me a lot on my way because if they're looking for a certain style, I can kind of mimic it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that's kind of cool too. It's like practicing different ways of illustrating and drawing and stuff. Yeah,
How, yeah. How long
sweet.
did it take you to get to the point where you could, I guess, like in music they say like develop your own voice, but you know, like where you have a style, the people can look at it and
Mm,
be like, oh yeah, that's Rich Warner's work. Because that's how I feel when I see your stuff. I'm like, yeah, that's
yeah.
like the Monster Tea Party and those
Oh
sorts of
yeah,
things.
yeah.
I love it. It's so cool.
Well, those things kind of came actually. I would say maybe a few years before I started with PopCap is where I started really getting a style.
Hmm.
Like kind of because what you're all your so when it comes to when someone says I have a style, all that really is an accumulation of bits and pieces of things that you thought were cool from other pieces of work that you've seen in the past. Like maybe for instance, there was a comic book where I really liked. I loved the way that gestures were drawn in this comic, and so I kind of always drawing kind of trying to emulate that, right? And
Mm.
then maybe I'm like, oh, I really like the illustration work of this guy, and I kind of really like that one little bit that they do. And so eventually, when you're drawing and trying to come up with style, you're just you're not even consciously probably doing it, but you're picking bits and pieces of things from lots of different things that are inspiring to you, and it all kind of boils down to then becoming what you do, right?
Mm.
So I think that kind of happened to me around that time, maybe a couple years before PvZ, because I was still struggling with certain things in my art in my art in general. Like I had a hard time. I used to have a really hard time drawing hands, and I'd have a really hard time drawing a female figure.
Mm.
And then I eventually started figuring out how to take bits and pieces from stuff that I liked and pulling that together to kind of get that point. It's weird though, because saying you have a style is weird because I mean I don't know if you think of yourself as like, oh, this is my style, but like it's just that's just the way you do things, but you don't really think about it as I don't know. I don't really think about it as being like that's my brand. You know what I mean? Like I don't really think of it that way. I just know when something feels good,
Yeah,
right? Like when you're
yeah.
drawing or doing something and it just feels right. You're like, oh yeah, that's cool. So like certain brush strokes and things I really like. It's like
Mm.
there's certain angles I really like, and so I tend to do them over and over again. I think that kind of pushes it to where you can it's recognizable.
Mm.
You know?
Mm.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because like I don't think I think of my musical style as like my style, but if I go back and I look and break it down, if somebody goes like, "Oh, I could tell that was something you made," I could kind of like backwards like dissect it and be like,
Yeah.
"Okay, well, there's a melody, a very melodic thing going on, and then there's like lots
Mhm.
of melodies going on, kind of like interacting with each other, and there's sort of classical influences and like you know how you were
Yeah.
talking about the different things you would listen to, like on one hand, yeah, I liked, you know, Disney stuff and Miyazaki and cute things, but I also listened to like gangster rap. Like I really liked
Yeah.
gangster rap growing up, you know, it
So
just
weird.
like weird influences. I listened to like
Yeah.
all kinds of music, and so like you can hear that in the percussion and you can hear that in like
Oh, right. Yeah.
yeah, different things like that. And so if then I can go back and go, okay, maybe that's what people see as being my style, but you're right, it's just kind of like what feels right as you're working on it. Like I
Yeah.
love boss music because when I
Oh,
was a
yeah.
kid and I would play, you know, a game like Mega Man or something, the boss music would make me so tense. I'd like put my feet up and I would be like, huh, you know, and I love that feeling. And then once it starts, the riff starts, you know, or it gets into the main meat of the music and it makes you feel like you're cool and strong. And
Oh,
so,
right. Yeah. No, totally. I totally get
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So I love making music like that where I'll just layer and layer and layer and layer
Hmm.
until it
That
feels
build.
like, yeah, like, oh, it feels so cool fighting this guy.
Yeah. No, I totally, yeah, 100%. No, that's awesome. Yeah. So, but it's just weird when if you try to break it down and you start really thinking about it, you're like, oh, I guess I can see where people are thinking that, right? You start really looking at the stuff you do or like the way it sounds.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but trying to be intentional about it, I think is that's where you're gonna run into problems. To be like,
Yeah.
this is my style. I'm only gonna draw like this. Like, I don't. That's probably not the best way to go about it.
Hmm.
Like,
Got to
it
be
just has to come
flexible.
natural. It's just like when someone gives you a nickname and you try to give yourself one,
Yeah, that's
right?
a good example.
Like if you give yourself a nickname, everybody's like stupid. But like if someone else gives it to you, then they're like, yeah, that's right. That's you. You know, it's solely like that.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well, shoot, I should probably get out of here. I have to go do a few things.
oh,
I didn't
okay.
realize the time is after 9.
I wanted to let you advertise what you're working on too
Oh yeah, yeah.
if you
Thank
get a
you.
chance.
Thank you.
Like feel free to
Yeah.
say whatever
Oh,
you're
I'm gonna get
working
a
on
chance. I'm
now.
just kidding. No, All right, so yeah. Aside from commissions, which I'm doing for the thing you got going on,
Mm.
um, I'm working on another game. It's a board game though. I'm not doing any video game stuff right now. Um, the Kickstarter. I don't think the Kickstarter comes out for months still, but it's called Dumbfound Dead, like dumbfounded. Ooh. But
Dumbfound
yeah,
dead.
yeah, and it's a game based on internet memes and
Oh,
stuff. So it's kind of silly, but everything is zombie based. So like imagine like if you're watching, when you see memes like Tide Pod challenge and some idiots eating a Tide Pod, it's like super stupid. If you replace all those people with zombies and make it extra crazy looking, it looks way more funny. So that's basically what a lot of the stuff I'm working on right now is based off that. So um, yeah,
dude, that sounds cool.
yeah. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Mm.
Um, and it's a little different. It's not as cartoony as PvZ, but it still
Mm.
has the same elements. You could tell.
Is that
I
going to
mean,
be like a Kickstarter,
you
you said, or it's going to be in a
yeah,
store,
it should
or?
be. I think it's going to be a Kickstarter first, but it should be in stores also because there's a lot of stuff work going on behind the scenes with the guys that are doing the development part of it and everything. That I feel very confident that it'll be out. So
Mm-hmm.
and there's a few games in a series. So this is just game one of a few that I'll be
Mm-hmm.
working on. Yeah, so that's all I'm working on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that and
Okay.
teaching. So, yeah. So,
Nice, nice. So if anyone, so we're gonna do a little reward thing afterwards, with highlights, and those are all gonna be things where, well, I'll fill you in on it later. But if anybody
okay.
wants to commission, Rich for artwork, he does commissions right now, which is actually like kind of special, I think, personally, because most people that like work on big games don't do commissions anymore because they're,
Oh, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's to me, I think it's kind of a rare opportunity.
Yeah, I like
But
doing
yeah.
it. If anybody wants anything like that, just reach out to me in my email. It's just my name. It's just Rich Werner at Hotmail. That's like the best way to get a hold of me. If you just reach out and get a hold of me, I can give you details and we can go from there. But
Mm,
that's sort of like especially over the summer. That's kind of going to be like a lot of my bread and butter doing stuff like that. So
mm,
it's a good time if you want something like that you've been thinking about for a while. Then hit me up during the summer because um, that I have the most time right now to do that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Oh, and I'll be streaming stuff on Twitch too. So like if I do a commission, a lot of times I'll do the commission on live. I'll just do it live on Twitch and just talk to people. So
That's so
um
cool. So you can see like the whole process of how it gets put together.
yeah, you can see the whole thing. So like if you want to watch a commission happen or if you get one, you might be able to see yours being done live
Mm,
too. So
yeah. So
um
make sure to
yeah.
check the link too. I think Lunar pinned it to the top of chat. So if anybody wants to check
Oh,
out
cool.
Rich's Twitter, or website, or Twitch, all that information is there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, cool, cool.
our community has gotten 5 commissions, so we'll be, uh, after Rich goes, I'm actually going to read out a little thing for each of the 5 people because
Oh
they're
yeah.
people that have contributed something really awesome to the community in some way, shape, or form. And so I'll give a little message to them, and you folks can contact Rich and let him know, what is it, up to 2 characters or something like that? That.
Yeah, I try to keep it 2 characters. If you have something really specific in mind, you can always let me know what it is, and I'll let you know if because if it's too much or it's because sometimes people get a little crazy and they're like, I want this, 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 this. Like, oh well, hold on a second. Like, we're
Like,
talking
whoa
like a
there.
week's worth of work here. So like, I mean, within reason, I'm usually pretty good about it, about within reason. So, but
Mhm,
I can guarantee up to 2 characters
mhm.
doing something. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
so if you get the chance,
I know.
give him a follow on Twitter, watch his stream. It's really a chill
Ooh,
stream, and it's so fun to see him draw and stuff like that. Um,
it's the
and
best to watch me try to figure out audio in the beginning every time. So fun.
I have trouble with audio, and I'm an audio person, so it's audio is so, I don't know. It breaks out of nowhere for no reason.
I know it's so annoying. But anyway, no, man, thanks for having me on talking. We haven't talked in a really long time, so it was just kind of cool to to be able to talk about all that stuff back in the day. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Ah, it was a good time. Good stuff. Yay.
Really good chatting with you. Thanks so much for coming
Yeah.
on the stream. I
Oh no, thank
please say
you.
hi to Hallie for me. I love her.
I totally
She's
will.
so
Yeah, yeah,
awesome.
for sure. I know, poor thing. She works late tonight. Oh,
Oh.
I'll let her know when she comes home.
Mhm.
All right then. Well, I'll talk to you guys all
Alrighty.
later.
Okay,
Thanks
take
again.
care. All
All
right.
right.
Bye
Bye.
bye.